lingo can get overwhelming when you are first starting to learn. Let's keep it very simple and start with a good foundation. Understanding the differences between perennials, annuals, and biennials is where to start to build a good gardening knowledge foundation. But first, you need to understand your climate and how your geographical location can determine if what you are growing will come back year after year or die back after one season. Everyone has a particular growing zone. In the United States, the more south you are, the higher the growing zone. As you can see in the illustration, Zone 10 makes up a small amount and is where the warmest places are for growing. Zone 2 is much farther north and in places such as northern tip of Montana, North Dakota, and Minnesota. Look up your particular growing zone to see which perennials, annuals, and biennials grow in your area. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this video. Let's start with perennials. Perennials are plants, herbs, or flowers that are expected to live longer than 3 years. They are typically cold hardy plants that will return each year in the spring. They typically bloom one season and die back in the winter, but they reappear the following year. Echinacea, blueberries, and asparagus are a few examples of perennial plants. The good thing is, you plant them once. You don't have to replant them in the spring each year, except if they are short-lived perennials. Short-lived perennials last only 2 to 3 years. Some perennials are considered tender perennials. A tender perennial is one that isn't very cold hardy and must be brought indoors in pots during colder weather. Annuals are almost the very opposite of perennials. Annuals grow from seed, flowers, makes more seeds, and dies all within a single year. They will bloom almost constantly during the season, and usually they are low maintenance. You can save the seeds to replant in the next growing season, but if you don't save the seeds, sometimes it will spread its seeds and come back the next year. It isn't the same plant, but the seeds from the plant that return. This all is dependent on the cold hardiness of the plant and your geographical location. A few examples of annual plants are calendula, sunflower, corn, and melons. Because annuals only live for 1 year, they don't spend time digging deep roots. Instead, they focus their energy on their foliage and blooming. That means most annuals need to be watered daily, while established perennials generally only need to be watered once or twice per week. Now let's talk a little about biennials. Biennials need 2 growing seasons to mature and set seed. They are similar to annuals, however they behave differently. They grow leaves, stems, and roots the first year, then go dormant for the winter. In the second year, the plant will flower and produce seeds. Mullein, hollyhocks, onions, and celery are biennials. On our farm, we concentrate on perennial herbs and vegetables. The perennial herbs can be used medicinally and most of the time have beautiful flowers and leaves. The perennial vegetables are great simply because they continue to produce edible food. Examples of these vegetables are asparagus, rhubarb, horseradish, globe artichokes, and watercress. There are many other aspects to gardening you need to understand, such as herbaceous and deciduous, but for right now, just concentrate on knowing the differences between perennial, annual, and biennial, and what growing zone that you are located in. Stay tuned for more gardening videos as the seasons change and we go into spring. Here at SHTF Survival Homestead Teaching Farm, we want to encourage learning and motivate you to understand specific skills and gain wisdom needed if you find yourself in a survival situation. We thank you for watching this video. Please continue to help us help you by liking, sharing, and subscribing.